Okay, let's unpack this. You've sent over some really relevant material, an article looking closely at Thailand's demographic shift and what it means for businesses.
Yeah, it's a fascinating piece. It really gets into the weeds of a major change happening there.
Absolutely. This is exactly the kind of thing we love to dive into. So, our mission really is to go through this source and pull out the key takeaways.
The challenges, the opportunity.
Exactly. And the strategies businesses are using, or maybe should be using, we want to understand what's driving it, where demand is shifting, and, how companies can actually thrive with this growing senior population.
And the headline number from the source is pretty stark. Thailand's set to become a what they call a super age society by 2028.
Wow, 2028, that's really soon. And super aged, just for clarity, means 20% or more of the population is 60 plus?
That's right, 20%. It's a significant threshold, and it signals a very rapid demographic transition.
Yeah, it's not just a social note, is it? It's fundamentally reshaping industries, creating new dynamics.
Completely. It's changing the economic landscape.
Right. So our goal here is to highlight what this article tells us about adapting business strategies, how businesses have to prepare.
Precisely.
So let's start with that big picture then. This core shift becoming super aged by 2028. How does the article frame the overall impact?
Well, the source is pretty clear. It's not just a minor tweak. It's described as fundamentally reshaping Thailand's business landscape. It changes the whole structure of consumer demand.
And that reshaping points directly to demand increasing in certain areas, doesn't it? What are the key sectors the article highlights?
Yeah, exactly. It flags a really significant surge in demand for things like elderly care services, for one,
Makes sense.
and specialized healthcare, obviously, plus consumer products that are specifically designed with seniors in mind.
Okay. More older people, more need for specific support and products. And the core message from the article here seems to be about being prepared.
Yes, absolutely. The central point is that businesses that see this coming, the ones that adapt proactively, they're the ones setting themselves up for success down the line.
Right. You can't really wait and see on this one.
No, waiting isn't really an option according to this analysis.
Okay, so if being proactive is the key, let's get specific. Where exactly is this demand really showing up? How are industries being transformed?
Well, it's hitting several sectors quite hard. First, you've got elderly care and assisted living. The article notes a growing need here, partly because, more seniors are living on their own.
Right, which naturally leads to more demand for things like in-home care.
Precisely that. And also, remote healthcare solutions are becoming much more popular, technology stepping in.
Interesting.
But it's not just about basic needs. The source also mentions the rise of, luxury retirement communities. These cater to higher-income seniors who are looking for specific comforts and amenities.
A whole spectrum of care needs then. Beyond living arrangements, what about healthcare itself? Big area, I imagine.
Huge. Healthcare and wellness. There's a growing focus on managing chronic diseases, specifically non-communicable ones.
Like diabetes, heart conditions.
Exactly. Things that tend to be more prevalent as people age. And technology is playing a massive role here, too.
How so? Telemedicine.
Yep, telemedicine is a big one. Mentioned seeing your doctor via video call, getting remote consultations, and also AI-powered diagnostics.
AI helping read scans or data.
That's the idea. Making diagnostics potentially faster or more accessible. And there's also this growing interest in preventative wellness.
So not just treating illness, but staying healthy.
Right. Things like yoga, specifically adapted for seniors, dietary consulting, wellness programs. It's a growing market.
And this extends beyond services to actual physical products too, right?
Definitely. The demand for senior-friendly consumer products is on the rise. The source talks about everything from easy-to-use kitchen appliances.
Bigger buttons, simpler interfaces.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Ergonomic furniture, too. And wearable tech designed for seniors.
Wearable tech. What kind of uses are we talking about there? Fall detection.
That's a key one, yeah. Health monitoring in general may be simplified ways to stay connected. The article even mentions silver tourism.
Silver tourism. I like that. What does that entail?
It's basically travel focused on wellness experiences, curated for older adults. Think gentle activity holidays, wellness retreats.
Okay.
And
finances, is that adapting too?
Yes, that's another critical area. As everything moves more digital, there's a real need for banking and financial tech that's, genuinely easy for elderly users to navigate. Securely, too.
Makes total sense. So the big takeaway across these sectors is that businesses really have to rethink their products, their services, maybe even invest in age-inclusive design.
Absolutely. It's about meeting these shifting consumer needs head on.
So knowing where the demand is, the next logical question is how? How can businesses actually adapt effectively? What kind of strategic approaches does the source lay out?
Well, the number one thing, according to the article, has to be prioritizing accessibility and ease of use.
Which seems obvious, but probably harder in practice. What are some concrete examples they give?
They point to things like ergonomic design in products, larger fonts, maybe voice controls on tech. For digital stuff, it means really user-friendly apps, simple online banking interfaces.
And for physical spaces, like shops.
Yeah, physical stores need adapting too. Things like ramps, wider aisles for mobility aids, maybe even staff trained to offer more assistance.
Okay, so making things fundamentally easier to access and use. But it's not just about basic function, is it? The article mentions personalization, too.
Definitely. That's the next layer. Personalization and health-first innovation. This is where tech gets really interesting.
Like the wearables we mentioned.
Exactly. AI-driven health monitoring is a big part of it. Smartwatches or other devices tracking vital signs, maybe detecting falls and sending alerts. Real-time support.
That could be a game changer for independent living. What else fits under that health-first innovation umbrella?
Nutritional innovation is key. Think functional foods or supplements designed for specific senior needs, brain health, joint mobility, that sort of thing.
Tailored nutrition.
And also adaptive subscription models for, say, wellness programs or even meal delivery that can be adjusted based on individual health goals or needs.
Right. And finally, the article talks about something crucial, especially for this demographic: trust.
Yes, building trust-based marketing is absolutely essential. The source stresses that for older consumers, messages around reliability, security, and trust are paramount. It's not just about flashy ads.
So how do businesses actually build that trust according to the source? What are the tactics?
Well, practical things like loyalty programs with specific senior discounts or perks can help. But crucially, it also highlights education-driven marketing.
Like workshops or seminars.
Exactly. Seminars on managing finances or how to use digital tools safely or workshops on specific health topics. It builds credibility and provides genuine value, which fosters trust.
Okay, so summarizing those strategies. It's about accessibility first, then personalizing based on health needs, and underpinning it all with genuine trust building.
That's a good way to put it. That seems to be the core strategic advice from the source.
So given all these shifts, these needs, these adaptation strategies, where does the article see the biggest investment potential? Where are the sort of hot spots in this aging economy?
It points to several areas with really strong growth prospects. Senior housing and retirement communities is a major one.
And that's not just one type of housing, is it?
No, definitely not. The source highlights opportunities across the board. You've got luxury retirement villages targeting wealthier seniors, of course,
Right.
but also a big need for more affordable housing options, maybe ones that integrate healthcare services right on site for middle-income seniors.
Yeah.
And it also mentions multi-generational living solutions becoming more important.
Supporting families who care for older relatives at home. Okay. What else? Healthcare tech must be big.
Huge. Healthcare technology and AI in elderly care is another key investment area identified.
What specific examples do they give there?
Things like telehealth platforms,
Hmm.
the remote consultation tech we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
AI for diagnostics, wearable health monitors, again, and also, interestingly, senior-focused InsurTech.
InsurTech. So technology applied to insurance products.
Yeah, specifically tailoring insurance products' health, long-term care using tech to better suit the needs and risks of older adults.
Got it. And that preventative wellness angle we touched on, is that an investment area too?
Absolutely. That falls under the wellness and preventative healthcare market, which the source flags as high growth.
What kind of opportunities are there?
Specific examples include things like tailored senior fitness programs, think specialized exercise classes, aquatic therapy for joint health. Also, nutraceuticals and functional foods targeting specific age-related concerns like cognitive function or cardiovascular health.
And the silver tourism piece.
That's in there too. Wellness retreats, cultural travel designed for senior mobility and interests. That's seen as a growing market, ripe for investment.
Okay, so the article really points to senior housing, healthcare tech, and wellness preventative care as the major growth areas for investment.
Yeah, those are the sectors where this demographic shift is expected to drive the most significant market expansion, according to this analysis.
It's always useful to see this stuff in action. Does the source give any real-world examples? Companies in Thailand that are actually doing this well?
It does, yeah. It highlights a few case studies. Bumrungrad International Hospital in Bangkok is one.
Ah, yes, they're very well known, even internationally. How have they adapted specifically for older patients?
Well, they've apparently developed specialized elderly care departments and programs. They've integrated telemedicine quite heavily to improve access for follow-ups, consultations,
Makes sense.
and they offer very personalized health plans. The article also notes they're actively attracting international senior medical tourists.
Leveraging Thailand's strength in medical tourism. Okay, who else?
Tansiri has mentioned they're a major property developer.
Right, what are they doing? Building specific retirement villages.
They've introduced what they call wellness residences. These incorporate specific senior-friendly design features right from the start.
Like what kind of features?
Things like fall-proof flooring, wider doorways, wheelchair-accessible layouts, even integrated smart home tech for assistance. And crucially, these developments often bundle in on-site healthcare services, like checkups or basic nursing support.
So it's the whole living environment designed around senior needs. That's quite comprehensive. Any other examples? Maybe outside healthcare and property?
Yes, NK Restaurants is the third one highlighted.
A restaurant chain? How does a restaurant adapt?
Well, according to the source, they've looked at the physical space, making interiors more accessible and comfortable, but also, significantly, the menu.
How so? Special senior discount.
They do have senior loyalty programs with discounts, yes, but also they've developed nutritionally optimized menu options, specifically aimed at seniors, things like lower sodium dishes, heart-healthy choices.
That's really thinking it through. So those examples, a hospital, a property developer, a restaurant chain, they really show different ways businesses can adapt, don't they?
Exactly. It demonstrates that adapting isn't just one thing. It touches product design, service delivery, physical spaces, marketing, the whole business model, really.
Looking ahead then, the source is very clear. This isn't just a short-term trend. This demographic shift is structural, long-term.
Absolutely. It's baked into Thailand's future for decades to come. And the article really frames it as an opportunity.
An opportunity for those who adapt.
Yes. Companies that recognize this and invest in elderly-friendly innovation, they're the ones positioned to gain a real competitive edge.
Does the article give any specific projections, say, for 2025 and beyond? What does the near future look like?
It does mention a few key projections. One is the continued expansion of AI-driven elderly healthcare, becoming even more integrated into daily care and monitoring. It also forecasts rapid growth in senior travel and wellness. That whole silver tourism trend is expected to really take off and become a major economic driver.
And reinforcing Thailand's position internationally.
That's the third point. The article projects Thailand becoming an even bigger hub for medical retirement, attracting retirees from other countries specifically for the healthcare quality and lifestyle.
So the final picture the source paints is pretty clear. Investing in understanding and serving this growing senior population isn't just, a nice to do. It's actually essential for long-term business growth in Thailand.
It's about recognizing where the market is heading, identifying the largest growing consumer group, and building your business around their evolving needs and preferences.
So this deep dive really underlines that Thailand's demographic shift is profound. It's creating very clear needs, but also significant opportunities in areas like healthcare, housing, consumer goods, you name it.
And the pathway to tapping into that, as the article suggests, really boils down to focusing on making things accessible, personalizing services, building that all-important trust, and using technology smartly.
Understanding this shift gives you, the listener, a really valuable perspective, whether you work in these fields or you're looking at investments or maybe just interested in the region's future. These are trends to watch.
It's a market force that's undeniably reshaping the country.
Absolutely. So thinking about everything we've discussed from the source, the rise of telemedicine, AI in care, those wellness programs, specialized housing, what specific innovation or service mentioned do you think might have the most significant, maybe even unexpected impact on the day-to-day lives of seniors in Thailand over the next, say, 10 years?